Portland has had a ton of different iterations with their starting lineups this season. That's what happens when you have a bunch of injuries. But now with the backcourt healthy, Portland has a bit of a conundrum on their hands. Chauncey Billups has committed to a Scoot Henderson and Anthony Simons backcourt, and with Toumani Camara starting at the small forward spot, that means Shaedon Sharpe is coming off the bench alongside Malcolm Brogdon. This result for Shaedon Sharpe, who's looking like a star for a stretch earlier in the season, looking like he could make an argument for being the best player on the team earlier in the season, him now being a bench player is a bit uncomfortable. This is a conversation that I want to have with you, the viewer, so I'm looking forward to what you think in the comment section below. But first, this video is sponsored by BetUS. Our awesome sportsbook sponsor BetUS is giving away 2 Super Bowl tickets and you could win them. Here's how you enter. First, place a bet on any NFL line with a minimum of $25 and share your bet slip on X/Twitter. Second, tag BetUS official and the friend that you'd invite to the game. Third, use hashtag BetUSLVIII. I would love for somebody from our community to win these tickets so that I can personally congratulate you. I think that would be super cool, and huge shout out to BetUS for running this giveaway. And if you plan on participating, you can also get a deposit match by using my link in the description box below. It's a 125% match, meaning if you deposit $100, you'll receive 125 free betting dollars to play with. BetUS is trying to hook you up, and with the College Football National Championship today and NFL playoff games starting next weekend, this is a great time to get in with BetUS. They're a reliable, secure sportsbook with excellent customer service, offering a wide range of sports and betting options. So use my link in that description, and hopefully you are winning those Super Bowl tickets. So with Portland's lineup imbalance, they're gonna have to trade Malcolm Brogdon, but I'm going to save that for another video. This video is about Shaedon Sharpe, who's coming off the bench now. I don't really know how to feel about that. I think out of anybody on this roster, Shaedon Sharpe is the guy I worry about the most in terms of his aggressiveness. I just think he's much better when he's more aggressive with the ball in his hands, but he does have a tendency to float a bit offensively, or just kind of take a back seat, which for somebody with his talent level and his athleticism should never be the case. He should be trying to impose his will on an NBA game at all times. Yesterday against the Brooklyn Nets, he had some big time buckets, and you saw the Shaedon Sharpe that we've seen numerous times this season impose his will on an NBA game. Now, while his stats are up, he's averaging 16.5 points per game, 5 boards and 3 assists. His efficiency is down. He's shooting 46% from 2 and 34% from 3. However, his play has been a bit of a roller coaster. He's had super impressive stretches of play, including a 5-game streak where he scored at least 24 points in all of those games. He ended up missing 5 games in a row at the end of December, and he's had stretches where he's played enormous amounts of minutes, and that might have led to some fatigue during some of the stretches where he struggled. I've been a proponent of trying to cap his minutes at 36 a game. That's around the cap that most NBA coaches put on their starters to not overplay them, but I do think he needs to be playing heavy minutes. And when you look at yesterday's game against the Nets, which Sharpe came off the bench and he played 40 minutes. Now, of course, that was in overtime, so if it ended in regulation, probably would have been about 35 minutes a game. And you can say it doesn't really matter who starts games. It's more about who ends games, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. However, I do wonder if starting games or coming off the bench could affect his mindset going into things. Some players are just simply much better starting games than coming off the bench. You're able to build a rhythm as the game begins, and it requires a little different mindset depending on if you're starting or not. And the last thing I want Shaedon Sharpe to do is take a back seat on this team. He is one of the most important core pieces of this entire franchise right now. It'd be hard to argue that any one player is more important to the future of the Portland Trail Blazers than Shaedon Sharpe. His development is paramount. The Blazers need to find ways to get him to be more aggressive. I'm not sure bringing him off the bench is the best for that. But this is why I said I need to have a conversation with you guys on this, because I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it. Do you guys think this is a bad decision to bring Shaedon Sharpe off the bench behind Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Toumani Camara, because the Blazers definitely need to get him to be more aggressive? Or does it not really matter, and is yesterday's game an example of that, where he scored 21 points? I will say, in that game yesterday, there was some bad defensive moments where it felt like he wasn't giving 100% effort. He only had 1 rebound in those 40 minutes, only 1 assist as well. So it was a pretty limited game outside from the scoring. I would love to see him start next to Anthony Simons and Scoot Henderson to truly get a feel for if that three-man trio can work in the long term, because they've played a little bit together. The return has not been good so far this season. However, it's such a small sample size that I'm not sure you can read too much into it, and guys need to gain chemistry playing amongst each other in certain lineups, and when you have three dynamic guards, sometimes the balance of how things work on the offensive end is tough to figure out. It's easy when you're going out there and you're clearly the guy and you can jack up 25 shots with full confidence. It's a little bit harder when you got other guys next to you that also have the ball in their hands, that also can make things happen. And it becomes a question of how aggressive should I be as an individual player, considering I got dudes next to me that can also get it done. How much should I defer to them? It's a little bit more tricky in terms of figuring out that balance between a trio of dynamic guards than it is if you only have one of them on the floor. I would like for the Blazers to start trying to figure out that dynamic by playing Sharpe, Scoot, and Ant as much together as possible. And I also think when the Blazers have given Sharpe more responsibility, whether it's starting games, defending the best opposing player, handling the majority of the ball handling duties, I think when Sharpe has been given more responsibility, he has been a better player and he has developed well. When that responsibility has been rolled back a little bit, I don't think the returns have been as good. And that's part of the reason why I am uncomfortable with bringing Shaedon Sharpe off the bench, because I'm not sure it's the best thing for his long-term development. I'm not saying that any of the guys starting ahead of him haven't necessarily earned it. I think Toumani Camara has earned his starting spot right now because he's the Blazers' best defender, in my opinion, most versatile defender. He gets it done on a night-in, night-out basis. He's an extremely impressive defensive player for a rookie. But I don't know if Scoot Henderson has necessarily earned it, and Scoot had been playing good coming off the bench. Now, given that Scoot's playing better, I understand Chauncey's want to start him right now, and given Malcolm Brogdon's off the bench at a point guard spot, you basically got three guys that can play the point spot with Simons, Scoot, and Brogdon. I understand trying to start two of those guys to make that work a little bit better. However, at this point, I would probably continue to bring Scoot Henderson off the bench, continuing to start Anthony Simons at point guard and Shaedon Sharpe as shooting guard. Anthony Simons, as the starting point guard, has had some really impressive games so far this season, and Scoot Henderson didn't end the game yesterday. Brogdon was in and Sharpe was in. So I'm not sure starting Scoot Henderson is necessarily the right choice right now. I was a proponent of it going into the season. I wanted to see Scoot, Simons, and Sharpe all start together. I'm cool with that now. But if Chauncey Billups feels the need to continue to start Toumani Camara, which I'm okay with, I think at this point, the best lineup is Simons at point, Sharpe at shooting guard, Camara at small forward, Grant at power forward, and then whoever the hell our starting center is on any given night, because who knows what's up with DeAndre Ayton. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you think the starting lineup should be? Should the Blazers be starting Sharpe? Is this bad for his development to be coming off the bench like this? How much more aggressive do you want him to be? There's a lot of questions surrounding Shaedon Sharpe right now, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts in that comment section below. Also, shout out to BetUS. Remember, you can win 2 Super Bowl tickets. I want it to be somebody from my community. So once again, here's how you enter. Big shout out to them. And remember to use that link in the description box below for a 125% deposit match when you sign up. And with that being said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.